Humans denied their enemy control by destroying their own civilization.
What's up YouTube, DMLX here, and even though the Coalition put a lot of emphasis on Gears 5's new game mode Escape and the Terminator skin pack during this year's E3, I thought I'd focus more on the story aspects of Gears 5, because after watching the Bound by Blood trailer, where it shows Kate Diaz being mentally torn apart between her duty to her squad and a mysterious pull towards the Swarm, it got me theorizing. What if by the end of Gears 5's campaign, Kate Diaz ends up joining the dark side, willingly or not, and takes up the mantle as Queen of the Locust Horde, or Swarm Horde in this case, like her grandmother before her. Because if you didn't know, spoiler alert, her grandmother is Queen Mira.
She wanted you to have that.
It was my grandmother's. I never knew her.
It's beautiful.
It would be interesting to see the fans' reaction to a character they've grown to know for the past 2 games, and then all of a sudden become humanity's worst nightmare. Personally, if Kate was forced or personally chose to be the Queen of the Swarm, I'd be all for it. Think about the potential setup for a Gears 6, where JD, Dell, and whoever else is still alive by the end of Gears 5 goes on one final journey to stop Kate and extinguish the entire Swarm once for all. Now, one could argue having Kate become Queen of the Swarm by the end of Gears 5 and then killed off in Gears 6 would be too predictable and similar to the ending of Gears 3, where you had Marcus stab Queen Mira in the heart and then she bled out to death.
Feel that? That's from Dom. And everyone else you killed, you bitch.
However, I'd argue that a situation where Kate does become queen could work in the Coalition's favor, because of the relationships that have been established between characters in Gears 4 and what will soon transpire in Gears 5. In the original Gears trilogy, Delta Squad had no emotional connection or past with Queen Mira, thus the drive to kill her was like swatting a mosquito. No remorse whatsoever. But in this new era of Gears, if the new main antagonist turns out to be a close ally such as Kate herself, I think that would make for a compelling climactic story for Gears 6, like the Cortana situation in Halo 5, where she planned to use the Guardians to enforce peace through the galaxy. Just imagine a scenario in Gears 6 where JD must kill Kate, his best friend slash former lover, who is now Queen of the Swarm. At this point she is beyond saving and has fully embraced the darkness etched in her blood. JD doesn't want to pull the trigger, but you can see the conflict in his eyes, but he knows it's the only way to end the war and bring peace to the planet once again. Like the moment from X-Men The Last Stand, not the best X-Men movie in the world by the way, and Dark Phoenix isn't doing so hot either. But anyway, the scene where Wolverine has to kill Jean Grey or she'll dust off all walks of life on Earth is the moment that comes to mind in terms of how I picture Kate going out in this new trilogy. And yes, I might be getting ahead of myself seeing that Gears 5 isn't even out yet, and they could just reboot the series after Gears 5's release. But I just got a strong feeling that Kate will end up going bad, maybe betraying her friends and taking up the mantle as the Queen of the Swarm. Now don't get me wrong, I want to see Kate become the Swarm Queen in Gears because I think it would make for an interesting narrative moving forward in the franchise, not because I hate the character and want to see her die a gruesome death. That's what Carmines are for.
You good?
Yeah, but I got a problem. Something's wrong with this thing. It keeps jamming. See?
Stand. Take position. It's carbine. Oh shit! No way!
There's also a theory floating around that maybe Queen Mira gets resurrected by the end or during the events of Gears 5. I mean, she is on the box art of the game after all, so anything's possible. Personally, I hope this doesn't happen, because having to kill Mira again wouldn't be as interesting or compelling in my book. Plus, it will only diminish the emotional impact of her original death in Gears 3. I think limiting Queen Mira to flashback sequences and having her be a playable character in competitive multiplayer would be good enough for me. So let me just think in the comments section down below, do you believe Kate will become the Queen of the Swarm by the end of Gears 5 and become the main villain in Gears 6, or do you see the story playing out differently? And with that being said, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, it really helps me out. Subscribe for more content from me on Gears 5 and other games in general. I'm DMLX. I'll see you in the future.